Well, guys, grab your popcorn, but it's not for what you're thinking. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Zach, the Wretched Watchman, and I'm bringing you a little bit something different today. Sometimes you just come across something, and the Lord just kind of lays it upon your heart, and this is just one of those cases. Now, I got a little clip here I'm going to play in just a second that I saw it a long time ago and I didn't think anything of it. I saw it and was like, oh, that's cool. And that's really cool what he's doing and everything like that. And I saw this again like a couple of years ago, but it just recently popped back up into my view as I was going through my usual news wires and stuff like that. This video just kind of popped up, and the Lord kind of laid something upon my heart when I watched it, when I looked at it. And I've held on to it for a few days, and I've kind of watched it here and there. It's just such a simple little clip that sometimes you can get a little caught up in what's going on. But I think there's something more to it, especially in the days that we're in right now, where there's so much hardship, so many trials and tribulations and things going on in our lives, that sometimes the joy can get sucked out and we can kind of lose track. We can go along and just do things grumbling or complaining. And I'm not pointing fingers. I point all my fingers at myself. I am one of the worst people when it comes to this, just doing things grumbling and complaining and not wanting to do it, and just kind of kicking my feet. I've been that way all my life. I've been actively trying to get better at it. It's just something that I am. That hopefully, before the rapture comes, hopefully I can figure it out. But ultimately, I'm trying to get better at it. And I know there's a lot of people that maybe aren't that way, but they're starting to get that way of what's going on. Now, I've rambled enough, and so I'll just go ahead and play you guys this clip, and then I'll tell you what I believe that the Lord has laid upon my heart with it. So check this out. So we're looking at a guy here, and again, some people look at that and go, okay, what does that have to do with anything? And I know some people are looking at that going, oh, cool, he's kind of throwing stuff around, and he's being active and eye popping and what he's doing. But what has been laid upon my heart is, I look at that video, and you have what many people, and I'm not saying it's not, or I gotta make sure I word this the right way, because there's a meaning that I want to say, and I want to make sure it comes across that way. Some people would look at his job of being the popcorn concession stand guy at a movie theater and go, that's just some low end job or whatever, and everything like that. It doesn't really mean much in the end. And again, I look at that and go, that's somebody who's supporting himself, maybe supporting family, or something else in that type of way. And to me, that doesn't make the job meaningless. He's providing a service that needs to be fulfilled, and he's getting it done and supporting himself. So I think that shouldn't be any type of way. But the point that I'm trying to get across on this is, you have somebody who's working a popcorn stand, and he's not sitting there, just like, okay, whatever, getting the popcorn, doing the thing, putting it on a counter, and just like waving these people off or whatever. No, he's doing the job to an extent beyond being even attentive. He's doing it with joyful actions. He's doing it where he's taken this job that can sometimes be a monotonous job, and he's added his own flair to it, which has given him inspiration and motivation to continue to do the job at the highest level that he possibly can. He's exceeding what that job description actually should be. And it seems to me, he's not doing it for any particular reason. He's not doing it for eye-popping reasons. He's not doing it to get clout. I'm sure he does that exact same thing when there's not a camera on him, because there's no way that he just pulled that out randomly without that any type of way. And so I look at this and I view it from the angle of Colossians 3. And this is what the Lord has kind of laid on my heart. Colossians 3:22-25. And he's speaking to, it talks about bond servants and masters, but we can apply it to employees and employers. It says, bond servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, fearing God. And whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of your inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ. But he who does wrong will be repaid for what he has done, and there is no partiality. And whatever you do, verse 23 stands out. Whatever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not to men. This is something that my dad instilled in me as I was growing up and I started getting into work and doing jobs and everything. He says, do the job as if nobody's watching you and you're doing it for the Lord. And what does that mean? That means you give it your 100% all the time. You do the very best because you understand that you're doing it for the Lord. You are an ambassador. You are a representative of Jesus Christ. And you want to leave the job, even if nobody's watching you do the job. You want to leave the job knowing that you did it to the highest possible ability that you could, and let the Lord be glorified. And when I look at this popcorn guy, I think that should be inspiration for us. He took a job that can be monotonous, that can be, anybody who's worked retail or service industry understands that dealing with people can really wear on you depending on the day and the people that you get, and that type of thing. And he hasn't done that. He hasn't allowed that to happen. He's going full press with 100% of his ability, and doing it with a joyful heart. You know, I can't read his heart, but from his actions and what he's doing, it seems like he's doing it with joy. And that's exactly how we should be going about in our times today. Even though the world is getting so dark, we're dealing with so many problems, whether it's things, economy, politically, governing, medically, and health, things going on in the home or work situations, even things going on in churches, friendships and relationships. Things seem to be getting darker, things getting a little bit tighter when it comes to these things, and it can wear on us. It can start to take us down. Our shoulders can start drooping. The smile can start turning into just stone face, and we can just go through the motions. But we must remember, especially just like Colossians told us, do all things heartily for the Lord, not unto man. And so this is something, again, just a simple little video of a guy who's having fun throwing popcorn around for his job, doing a great job at it. I couldn't do what he's doing. I'll have some practice. But that little video led me to Colossians because I think it's a good representative of that. And so be encouraged, be motivated to do all things, even when nobody's watching. In this case, somebody's obviously watching, but even when nobody's watching, continue to do it with a joyful heart and do it for the Lord to the best of your ability. When we finish our job, no matter the outcome, when we walk away, we should be able to look at what we did and not give ourselves props, but be joyful in that we did it to the best of our ability. And that if the Lord was satisfied with our work, then it was perfectly done. So I'm going to leave you guys right here. Hopefully that'll give you guys a little encouragement for the times that we're in right now. And now I'm going to go get some popcorn. I'm Zach, the WretchedWatchmen. Thank you guys for joining me today. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Maranatha.